Hello everybody! Today I want to showcase Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes and give you my first impressions of it. 505 Games were kind enough to send me a beta testing version of this upcoming RPG. As you may already know, this is a highly anticipated game considered as a spiritual successor of the Suikoden series after a highly successful Kickstarter was launched 4 years ago. So I played this little beta demo for so to speak, and like I said, here are my first impressions of it. I'd like to start saying sorry for the frame rate issues you'll noticed. This is, after all, just an open beta version, but most importantly, my computer isn't good enough to run it smoothly, which is why I don't cover Steam games or capture footage from them. Oh yeah, this beta version was only on Steam, but I just had to try it out because it's this game, of course. But don't worry, the game will be released on every available platform out there. Graphically speaking, it looks fantastic, beautiful as it did in all the trailers and small gameplay footage we saw before. The resolution and frame rate will run correctly on its final release, so don't worry if you see any hiccups in the footage, I already explained why. We know the main character's name is Noah, and unlike in most Suikoden games, he's not silent, he talks. And speaking about talking, the game comes with both English and Japanese dub, as well as subtitles in many different languages. The Japanese dub is professional and matches every character's personality quite well. Surprisingly, so does the English dub, which I thought was pretty decent. I like the character design a lot here, though I must admit some characters are a bit in the classic anime trope side of things, but to be honest, I don't really mind. In this beta version, Noah is a newly recruited warrior that fights with the town's watch. This is how he meets the other main character, Zane, an Imperial soldier. A war is about to break out between the Empire and the League of Nations, apparently, so Zane is tasked to find a primal lens. These are basically the equivalent of runes in the Suikoden saga, so in terms of storytelling, it's got a nice and interesting plot so far, but you know this series, narrative always gets better the more you advance, so I'm hoping this game will be the same. Gameplay is traditional, you got a town with a shop where you can buy items and equipment. Hopefully we'll see a blacksmith in the final release. There's also an overworld between towns, areas and dungeons you'll need to visit. And here is where we get to my first complaint. It's a personal complaint, I'm sure some of you won't mind, but others like me will do. You are seeing correctly. The game's got random encounters. I grew up with JRPGs like these from the 90s, but still, I've always disliked them. They hinder exploration, especially in dungeons where puzzles are required to progress. Often going from point A to point B can be troublesome because of this. However, thankfully they weren't that often, actually somewhat rare, so it's no big deal to be honest. Besides, exploration and area or dungeon design are easy to grasp with a good looking map in the corner. It's hard to get lost, I'll admit. And there are also these materials that you'll find besides the usual chests. I'm not sure what they do, but we'll just have to wait and see. Battles are played in turns with an isometric view, but the camera does move around back and forth when some characters attack. There's also the auto battle feature like in Suikoden, and up to 6 party members can attack. There's technique points that are required to execute a rune lens skill, and these points recover after battle, unlike magic points. Combination attacks between characters will also be available. Again, sorry for the frame rate hiccups. Anyway, the flow of battle is nice and I love both the attacks and animations here. One thing I noticed is that the game has these formations, just like in Suikoden. Some characters can attack from the rear, while others need to be on the front. There's also these support spaces here, which I assume will be for extra party members doing supportive passive skills, also seen in the Suikoden series. As you can see here in this other screen, every character will be able to equip multiple rune lenses, though they need to be at the required level to unlock more slots apparently. Pretty cool so far. The best part of my experience with this game was definitely the boss fights. Some of them are normal, your average boss, but others like this one were challenging in a very fun and unique way. And I mean it because you don't just beat the crap out of them with attacks or skills. Sure, using skill points or technique points to use the rune lenses was helpful, and the hero's combination attack was a blast. However, the boss had some gimmicks to it. At some point it was going to do some massive attacks to a certain row, so some debris was there for my characters to hide behind. And also, characters had dialogue during it to help you immerse in the battle even more. So my point is that I like the idea of adding these gimmicks to boss fights a lot. Now, I didn't see any war or duel battles like in the Suikoden series, but as seen in recent trailers, war strategy battles will definitely be featured. They look to be tactical, grid-based at first, but then also on real-time when in actual combat. They look interesting to say the least, and of course, I'm pretty sure there'll also be a lot of minigames. The music is solid here, but I didn't hear anything outstanding. Some tunes do give me Suikoden vibes, while others sound like their own unique style, but overall, it's got a great soundtrack. Apart from that, I have no other criticism to offer. What I played left me with a big smile on my face. I love it, guys. I totally felt like I was playing a Suikoden game in all sense of the word. The lore, the dialogue, the characters themselves, the setting in the middle of a war, the traditional RPG gameplay. Man, this is bound to be an amazing title that will certainly bring us Suikoden fans to the past, but also one that I firmly believe most gamers who've never played a Suikoden game will easily get into. I can't wait for the game to come out. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time!